Yeah, American Retrocross is a club that we've had going for over the last 20 years, and we've seen a big spike in participation in 2020 and 2021. Again, having to do with the COVID effect. Who would have thunk it, right? Something so horrible was so good for the industry, but we're counting our blessings in that regard. And you know, our retrocross approach is kind of like this event is. It's all inclusive. We have classes for any kind of motorcycle you can show up with, any age rider, and we just want to pull people in, put them on a track that's safe for them, and let them have a great time. And the vibe at our races is probably the best part of it. You know, people come there happy, they go home happy, and that's what we want them to do. We don't want them to go home feeling like, hey, I'm too old for this sport, or I'm not skilled enough, or whatever. We have a lot more families coming out in the last 2 years than we ever had before, and it's just awesome to see, because they're all in their groups and they're barbecuing and they're having a great time, and it just doesn't get any better than that. And that's part of what this event will facilitate, is that coming together, that reaffirming of how great motorcycling is for the whole family, and what a great sport it is. And if you don't have those events, then I think the drop-off is going to eventually occur. And we want to do all we can to hold on to those people, and then bring more people in as a byproduct of being introduced to motorcycling in the dirt. This year's a one-day event. It's June 6th on a Sunday. And it's our first foray. It's going to be a great event. We're trying to keep it downsized so we do a good job of you know, our first go. But I think our 3-year plan, you're going to see a lot of expansion. Glen Helen's been very supportive. I've been running races here for 30 years. So yeah, it's the best track in Southern California in terms of versatility of terrain and of the other ancillary tracks that they have open to us. Yeah, I don't think there's any manufacturer that isn't interested in learn to ride programs that create new riders, create new buyers, and we want to work with them and maybe have some on-site activities here at our event next year and the year after that. I think that's really important. One of the things that I think has been a great development for new riders is that electric Stasic bicycle. When I watch a Supercross race and they have the ads for those little kids, tykes, 3 years old, and they're out there ripping it up, you know that they get infected with the motorcycle virus at that age, and then they're hooked. They're in it, and we want to give everybody the opportunity to get hooked on motorcycles. Oh, and then also a road to recovery aspect of it. We are going to have obviously donations, and they've already started to come in from various contributors, and we're going to have silent auction, we're going to have raffles, we're going to have a lot of different ways that people can participate in donating to Road to Recovery, and all those funds are earmarked for the Max Matters mental health initiative, which is going to be working with the riders and the racers to help them navigate some of the hardships that they go through, like depression, anxiety, so on and so forth. You know, we take care of the bones and the muscles and all that kind of stuff, but we forget about what controls it all, which is the brain. And especially with concussions added to that whole mix, it's something that needs more attention. I had a phone conference recently with Road to Recovery and several doctors, and they actually were thanking us for putting this together so they could participate in it. And it was very humbling to hear a doctor say thank you for laying the groundwork to where we can really get something done. Last October, we did an event. We raised $7,500. So that money is already in the pipeline, and it's going towards setting up some initial treatments and 800 hotline and some peer groups where guys can get together and talk about some of their struggles.
We've got support from both Honda and Kawasaki so far. They're going to be bringing out some of their vintage factory bikes, some of their old championship bikes. So we hope to have Marty Smith's bike, David Bailey bikes, and Jeff Ward bikes. They're all going to be on display. We're going to have a huge display of vintage bikes around the track here. We're going to have some vintage box vans. We're going to try and set up a retro-looking pit area with some of these old bikes with the box vans. Again, trying to take us back a little bit to a bygone era and recreate the feel of 70s and 80s motocross.
Well, we're also lucky enough to have Langston Motorsports sponsoring a full bike show.
Yep.
So we're going to have manufacturers bringing out bikes, but anybody that has a bike that they want to put in the bike show, there's tons of categories that you can enter. It's only $20 per bike. There will be awards for the winners, and all you have to do is go to AmericanRetrocross.org and click on our race poster, and it will give you all the event details, full schedule, links to the bike show and to the race, so you can do all your entry forms from home, bring them and sign up, make it easy as pie.